Welcome back to Isaac's Dentistry. So today we thought we'd show you, we're always looking for new technologies and new techniques to improve the care we can provide for our patients and enhance the ability of our office to improve the dental health and the longevity of our patients' teeth and their oral health. So today we're going to go over a new technology that we've started using here in the office. It's a flex post system. And Doc, what would be the reason that we use a flex post?
Well, in the past, if a patient had a root canal, anytime you have a root canal, you should have a crown put on your tooth, a cap put over your tooth. And we have been doing that for many years. Sometimes when the tooth is broken down, you need to put a post up into it too. But that's such an added expense because it's got to be precise. There's a lab cost involved. So a lot of times we try not to do it if we don't think we have to. So what we started doing was this technique called a flex post, which is what you were talking about. So we would use it. We would use it when the tooth is broken down, and we've done a root canal on it. So we're either going to take the tooth out or try this flex post. So that's what we've been doing.
Right, and a flex post is basically if a tooth is broken down or broken apart, it gives us the ability to build structure in order to crown that tooth or also to hold a bridge. So a tooth that we normally may have had to extract because there wasn't enough structure there, we have the technology to actually build upon it and put a crown over it.
Yes, and this is something we see almost daily. As a matter of fact, this is an X-ray that we took yesterday. I think it was yesterday, on a fellow, and his tooth was cracked to the point that we had to extract it. Now, had we used this technique, or the dentist that treated him before we did, had they used this technique, it would have worked. And it's hard to see here, but there's a little crack that's running through this tooth, and that necessitated the extraction. So this one did not have it. This one behind it does not have a post in it either. So, but what we're trying to do now is put more post into the tooth before we crown it.
Right.
And this technique allows us to do it the same day we cut the prep. So there's no added cost to the patient. That's what I like about it. There's no hidden fee. There's no added cost. A little bit of time, but I think it's well worth it.
Right. So the real big benefits are we're able to save a tooth, and it doesn't add cost, and we're able to crown a tooth we otherwise would have been extracting.
Yes, and there's many times we look at somebody and it could be their front tooth, and we'll say, what are we going to do? So, well, we're going to take that tooth out and have to make you a partial denture, which is a partial comes in and out. These do not come in and out. You can keep them in here. And I'll show you. Go ahead, Scott, and I'll try to get back to where I was.
Right. So what the flex post is if you can imagine a screw with an elongated top that has some ribs on it. So what we do is Doc goes in and he preps the tooth where the root canal has been, and we cement the screw into the root of the tooth.
It sounds painful, but it's not, because number one, we're going to give you a local anesthetic. Number two, it's already had a root canal. The tooth is dead. So there's no pain at all.
Right.
No discomfort. Now these are ones we did a month or two ago, and these are two teeth that came in. They were fractured off below the gum line. It's hard to see, but the tissue, the gum tissue, these are uppers. The gum tissue is right there. So this is actually below the gum. And in the past, we'd just have to take that out, or I'd give them an option of going to a periodontist, having gum surgery and all kinds of exotic stuff. Now we don't have to. Now we can run a flex post in there and save it doing that in one appointment.
Right. And like I was saying, the benefit of this post is it cements in place, and then we use a composite material that builds up around the post to give us enough structure to slide a crown or a bridge over, and giving it strength from the metal post within and the girth to cement a crown onto. So it gives us a lot of options.
And you can see this is the same X-ray that we've altered a little bit. This is the same patient, different X-ray, and what we've done on this one, we have actually measured to see how much room we have to put a post in there. And on this particular tooth here, we had 10.2 millimeters, and this one we had 10. So it gave us all kinds of room that we could tunnel up in there and put a post in it. And that's what we did. And then, so that allows us to measure it. And then after we get a measurement, and this is after we cemented the post. So you can see we knew it was going to be 10.2 here. So I went up about 6 or 7 millimeters. We tunneled up in there, and after we fit that, we put a little cement on it, and we sink it into the tooth, and you can actually feel that thing just kind of lock in there, which is really good. It lets us know we've got it very secure. We had one about a month ago. We didn't have it secure. We had to redo it, come back in there, and make sure we had it secure. So that's what it was. And you can see the reason why we had to use different sizes here. This one we could get down to about 7 or 8. This one had 2 canals in it, and it didn't allow us to. We had to choose one of the 2 canals, and it just had to be a little smaller. So that's what that is.
And another great benefit of this, like the doc was just saying, we've got multiple sizes. So it really lends itself to repair on a variety of different teeth that may need this. He's got a selection where if we need more hold for stability, like he showed you before, on the x-ray we're able to use technology to take a digital measurement, which is super accurate. So the doc can choose the appropriate size post to cement in. And then we would go back. This is prior to building up.
Right. This is right after we cemented the post. We didn't take an X-ray after we built the composite around it. But you can see the serrations, and that's just so that it makes it stable, and we can put composite resin around that in order to make it strong. So yeah. So we've been doing quite a few of those recently. This is another one that we did. This is a we call them a cuspid tooth, which is the eye tooth, the pointy tooth that people talk to, the canine, very long tooth. And you can see this is a root canal that was done, and we now have a little bit more room. We're right at 12. We're about probably the root that we have left is about probably 15 to 18 millimeters. But we cannot go outside of the gutta percha, so we're going to go up about 12 millimeters on this one. So that's what this one was. And we do have to use a little bit larger one on this particular tooth. So that was done. And then, as you can see, this one is a larger post that we had to tunnel in there. We countersunk it in there, and we got it fitted. And after we had it fitted, I gave it that extra little twist, and you can kind of feel it lock in there. And that's a good feeling when you have it. You know you have something very sturdy when you can do that. And
that's one of the benefits that we've found with this flex post is, like Doc was saying in the beginning, in the past we've done a crown with a post, and everything's so precise with that post fitting up into just a hole, but you don't have anything locking it in there other than the cement we would normally put a crown on with. With this style flex post, it actually has a screw end on it. So it is screwed into that root canal with cement. So you've got the combination of the cement locking it in as well as the screws grabbing inside the root of the tooth. And again, it's a painless procedure, both because there's the local anesthetic given, but also because there is no nerve in that root. It's been removed from a root canal. Now, Doc, can we do this on a tooth that has not had a root canal?
No. And we had one recently where it was a tooth broken off. Of course, anytime the tooth is broken off into the pulp, into the nerve, you have to have a root canal done anyway. And I believe we went start to finish. I think we went and we did the root canal the same day because it was from trauma. It wasn't decay that did it, so there's no bacteria in it. But we went on and did the root canal that day. We measured it. We tunneled inside of it, put a flex post in it, did the crown prep, and did it all in one morning. And the patient left with a smile. It was her front tooth. The patient left with a tooth. It was a temporary, albeit it was going to be in there about probably 10 days. But we'll cement the finished product in about 10 days. And I think we've already done that case. I feel like, yeah. So this is this new technology? It's been around a few years. we were tinkering with a few different ways. I was just reluctant to get that extra lab fee, and you got to pass that on to the patient. We were just trying to find different ways of doing it, and this is really working very well. So I'm very pleased, because if you have to take that tooth out, you're going to have to go with a partial or removable partial or a bridge, and we know the bridge is where you have to go to the tooth behind it and the tooth in front of it, and you have to prep them. You have to cut those teeth down, and a lot of people are reluctant to do that too. So this you can concentrate on just that one little area. Also, if we take the tooth out, you'll have to have an implant put in there. Implants are being become very popular now. Implants take a little bit longer and they're more expensive. So we're trying to keep it down, because we understand, there's just not a lot of money to be floating around, extra money these days. So we're trying to keep that in mind. And this is working great.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that's great about this technology is in the past when we would have to do a bridge is considerably more expensive than just a single crown.
About 3 times expensive.
So we're able now to put this post in, prep that tooth, and just do a single crown, which is a savings for you, the patient, as opposed to having to go to that 3 times the cost to put a bridge in.
And it doesn't take us that much longer, so we're just including it on the price of the crown, because otherwise we wouldn't be doing it, and we'd be taking it out and feeling bad about, we had to take another one out. And in our office, there's so much bad news that we have to give people. We love to give good news. So that's what. I kind of joke with the hygienist. We make our living off bad news, but we love giving good news. So,
yes.
So yeah, anytime we can make somebody happy, we want to. Sometimes it's not a happy time to come to the dentist, but we try to do our best.
So, Doc, let me ask you this question. A patient out there has a bridge already, but it's loose. They've had it for a number of years, 10, 15, maybe even 20 years. But it's starting to fail. If there's been root canals done on parts of that bridge, is this an option to possibly sturdy that bridge up and make it more secure to get even more use out of it?
Yes, and we have done that. We recently did that. That's right. I'm glad you brought that up. He's leading me into this segue. Yes. We had recently had a patient that had you're right. We had a bridge and it was failing. We couldn't get retention on it. So we did it from reverse. We actually kept the bridge that they had. We took it off, trimmed out the part that was failing, put one of these posts in here, and then we built it up from there and made that thing fit. And you're right, that's still working. Yeah, I'd forgotten about that. So yeah.
Yeah, so if you're one of those patients that has a crown or a bridge that might be failing and getting loose just from normal wear and tear, it's been on there for a number of years, this is a potential saving grace for that type of patient. If it's a crown, same thing. So crowns, bridges. Or if you've had a tooth break off and you're like, well, there's nothing there. There's nothing they can do with it. There are options that we have available. Even if it hasn't had a root canal, in our office here, like Doc said, we are able to do that root canal to save the tooth and do this post and build up to put a tooth back in there, a crown over it. So it gives us more options for you, the patient, to, again, it's an aesthetics thing a lot of times. Everybody wants to, especially our smilers.
Sure.
We don't want to lose a smiler. And sometimes it's a health thing too. I mean, it helps with your function when it comes to eating and things like that. So this is another option here at Isaac's Dentistry that we have there for you. So if you're thinking you just have a tooth that is too far gone, nothing can be done with it, come on into our office. Let's sit down. Let's have a consult. We do free consults on all of these cases, and we can walk you through the options, and we can see if a flex post is a good option for what you need fixed. Anything else, Doc?
No, I think you covered it. I just want to make a point. Dental problems will not get better on their own. They're always they'll get a little bit worse because they will start to decay. Now you'll probably limit your treatment options if you delay it. You'll say, I'm not going to do it, they can't do anything. Well, if you wait a year or two, which a lot of people do, we see it daily, yeah, you have limited your options. You're probably going to have to get that taken out, and you're probably going to have a denture made. And we do that daily. I mean, that's one of the more common things we do is do full mouth extractions. Do that very often. So I started one today, so yeah.
Yeah, so the point is, don't wait, don't put it off. Let's get you in early when you know there's a problem, so we'll have more options at our disposal to get it fixed and get you back to a normal oral health regime.
Right.
So thanks for coming, and we will see you next month right here at Isaac's Dentistry in Springfield, Kentucky.